Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are continuing on our Runaways marathon. A Maraways. On to episode 6. Just past the halfway mark. I just finished watching episode 5, which as I went through in depth in my review of that, I basically really liked some elements of it, but I do feel like it was a bit of a pause point in our plot, but that's okay, because since this is the final season, I think the writers are really trying to tie up a lot of character-driven storylines, or at least get some progression towards what will eventually be the finale of the show. I feel like this episode and the next episode are going to be the last two sort of real like build up to the climax that we'll have before we actually have to have our climax, which may or may not be in the finale, but we'll have to see. So this one is called Merry Meet Again. Merry spelt like Merry Christmas, which is interesting. So without further ado, let's get into this episode and we will chat about it after. All right, let go. Okay, so she's using phones to control people. That's scary.
Every time I try, I get another stupid stuffed bird. Watch. Take a break.
Wait, man, you can stop now.
Like, what are we gonna do with all these dead birds?
Back there, you know, Morgan might be our only way to save Alex. Maybe you should talk to your mom. She knows a lot about magic, and it was her spell that got us back here.
Facts.
Can I ask a question without being judged?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay,
That's right. They looked at him funny. She don't like that.
No, you should go. We can't do anything for Alex until I learn how to get back there anyway. You don't have to do this alone.
Oh, apparently y'all want to have mimosas and pancakes.
friend group.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who also listens to the People Are Trash podcast.
It's my favorite.
I'm Max.
Gert.
Nice to meet you.
I'm impressed.
And that means power to the disadvantage, which should be the point of anything we put our time into. I mean, don't you think?
Wow, this is literally a male version of Gert.
Yeah.
I think she might have had a little bit of a social justice-gasm.
All that
Over a phone.
over a phone?
I mean, that's really not that far from the real world, though. I've seen people legit lose it over, like, a scratch or just not having it, like, within reaching distance.
Note to self, raccoons become quite aggressive at the smell of human urine. So I decamp to a tent where I can focus
And also the fact that you probably tried to set them on fire.
isolate. I don't need technology. I don't need modern.
But how about a bath, though? You look kind of nasty.
A shower.
Thank you.
Now perhaps I could stand to bathe, but I will remain.
No perhaps about that.
To find out what the hell went wrong in my life.
How do you know Leslie's...
Have you not watched the last 2 seasons?
Before you judge, just try to see the good that we're doing here.
About the murdering... Okay.
But if it ends with a few stitches and a chance to get to know you better, it'll pretty much feel like...
Homie is slick. I don't trust him, though, because he works for that chick, and I wonder if he's, like, under the spell. Who's this kid?
Oh, that's Bodhi. Yeah, he's great.
Wow, you did not just throw up a peace sign sideways.
I'll see you later, Okur.
Wow. Cardi B is somewhere out there throwing up.
Kill you right now.
And then what? You'd still be right where you are. Little girl with a stick she doesn't know how to use. Meanwhile, Alex Wilder...
That didn't sound right.
My mother won't be too happy you've turned him into a man jewelry-wearing boy toy who has way too many buttons open on his shirt.
Oh, yeah, that necklace.
Lifetime.
I hope you come.
I would love that.
I know it's a lot to take care
I can't go
I'm trying not to throw up.
of. You'll love her as much as I do.
Get that necklace off him.
Welcome to Alien Abductee Anonymous.
Hot chicks. And they were very interested in me. Sexually. Then they probed me. Anally.
Thank you
I don't think
for that
they
picture.
probe.
When you say that he injected you with his DNA, you mean by anal probe?
God!
Never anally probe.
Wow.
No, like this.
Okay, Junior, calm down.
Moving on.
What do you know about Leslie?
Nothing. I know nothing. Except that I missed you, kid.
Oh, right, she doesn't know that Leslie killed them.
My mom won't help me save Alex, but Morgan will. She wants to train me, help me master my powers. That's a horrible idea. She's a stranger from another dimension. How is this any different than when you went to Jonah for help?
Zing.
Honest about it, not sneaking
Facts.
around behind. Why'd you do that? He was calling for me. I couldn't talk to him. Whatever this darkness is, Nico, you can't control. You don't know anything about it.
I know you just afraid she's gonna get some jagged ass teeth and them nasty ass nails. I feel you, girl. I feel you. How did why?
Oh, don't cry, big guy. Don't cry.
How did this happen?
I like that you look out for where you come from. And it's a great deal for us.
Why is she still not wearing a proper bra? Where's the part where you tell him you're torturing his son in limbo?
No, wait, how will I find Max in the crowded room?
You will look, Gert.
With your eyes. Damn. Sound like a 100-year-old woman.
Long time no see, Stacy.
That's creepy. I thought she was doing that for a second. I'm like, okay, so now she's into techno? All right.
You trust me, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Let me just check your teeth before you go.
I promise I can explain everything. Okay, just can we go?
Why is that black woman looking at her like she wants to pounce? Punch her right in the boob. Both of them, actually.
What is this?
Oh, y'all look horrible. I thought Jonah was nasty, but y'all take the cake.
So sorry, we're spending the rest of your life trying to figure that out.
Well, see what you did, Gert. If you just stuck with Chase and been a nice person, this poor boy wouldn't be walking around with amnesia. Oh, Nico, you have screwed up so bad. Y'all, Alex has only been gone for like 2 episodes, and you see the way they're falling apart. Alex would have been too smart to fall for this crap. Let me tell you that right here, right now. This is some nonsense. My man, the actor who plays Alex, how the heck he ain't getting a check for a whole episode? That ain't fair. Anyways, guys, that was episode 6, which is called Marry, Meet Again. That one was interesting. I feel like, again, well, I shouldn't say that. We did move the plot forward in that we know that Morgan's got some type of plan. She's clearly using the phones, which it's very interesting. Watching this, I felt so much. I said it in the episode that it's like a Black Mirror episode, right? Like, it's how technology has taken over our world in a negative way. What better way? Like, if modern witchcraft actually existed, imagine how well it would do if it got into the cell phone system, because everyone's got one, right? We got them. Our kids especially, they're glued to them. Like, kids are on these devices for as soon as they pretty much start breathing. So if you could actually get into the market this way, get an enchantment out and mass ship it, and you saw she was giving away for free, right? So yeah, Morgan's looking to have an entire planet full of mind slaves, and who knows what it's for. I don't know. Like, again, we still don't know Morgan's angle. We don't know why she's doing this. I mean, it just seems kind of lame, like world domination. Okay, all right, I guess. Like, I'd like to find out more about why she's there, why she was trapped for so long, how she came in contact with Nico's mom is still not there. And again, with only 4 episodes left in the season, I really, really hope that we get a lot of that in the next episode, because I really hate when things get just held off for too long and then we kind of have to shove it into like a 3-minute exposition scene, which just feels weird. So I do hope in the next one we see more of Tina authoritatively talking about what's happening and stop hiding behind the whole "I'm protecting you" from her. Like, I got really frustrated in the episode where she told Nico, like, I'm protecting you by not telling you. It's like, this never worked for Nico. This has never worked. That's how she found the staff in the first place, Tina, is you trying to pretend or act like telling her not to do it was gonna be enough. Like, Nico is that girl. You tell her to go up, she will go down. You tell the sky is blue, she's gonna say it's black. Like, you have to just work with her. And knowledge is power, right? If Tina actually just sat her down and said, look, and I mean, I have to give Nico the props, at least she did come to Tina first and say, look, I'm asking you, I know you know things, tell me the truth. Let me know what's going on. And instead, Tina again is like, no, you can't handle it. And it's like, girl, your daughter is in it. She sent you to that place. You've seen what she can do. it should really dawn on you that she's beyond you trying to poo-poo all this away. So anyway, I do hope by the next episode that Tina, well, I don't know, I guess they're gonna have to get Tina because I don't know what has happened with Nico right now. My guess is that she's going to be under Morgan's influence to some degree. But what's clear so far is that Morgan does need Nico for something. I think that Nico is not completely in her control. I think that's probably her ultimate plan, is to take Nico's power. But I think it's gonna have to be something where Nico's gonna have to give it up to her willingly. You know, most of the things you ever hear about witches and all that kind of stuff, it's usually something where that has to happen. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to her eventually saying something like, if Nico wants to save Alex, she's gonna have to trade her power or something like that. But yeah, that part was kind of frustrating. Nico and Gert have the same character flaws to me in the sense of both of them are just so self-righteous. And it's just a really annoying, I get it, they're supposed to be young and they're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but you know, last season, in season 1, I really disliked how arrogant that Nico would be towards Alex. Like, she really had no reason to be as combative and hurtful towards him as she was. It was more because she just felt like she was on some moral ground. And then when she found out that Alex knew about Amy getting into wizard security or whatever, and then she just felt like she finally had even more of a sacred high horse to stand on. Like, she likes to get very sanctimonious and very defensive with people. And while I get that she's got her reasons for being defensive and having walls after what she's been through, like, both Alex and Carolina have been nothing but kind to her. Like, everything they've ever done has been in her best interest. And it's like she just likes to throw all that out the window whenever it's like all about her and her cause. You'd think that Nico would understand, especially since she threw it back at Carolina, which was fair, about how Carolina snuck off last season to learn more about her powers. Nico, and she was worried about it. You'd think that Nico would take that and go, okay, yeah, you know what, you're right. I know how I felt when you ran off and you tried to get to know your powers, you know, without really thinking about who you were talking to. I can see maybe why you're looking at this and worried about me. But no, it's automatic defenses. And it's, oh, you think you're scared of me. Oh, you just hate magic. Like, Nico, relax. You need allies. You need friends. People are your friends despite you kind of being a bitch 90% of the time. And I don't know if she's that way in the comics, but like, Nico kind of makes herself really hard to love. Yeah, she saved their butts a handful of times, and yes, she's powerful, but her actual interpersonal skills are terrible. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of like, you need to give a little. You know, you need to be, and the only time I've ever seen her be somewhat civil or nice has been with Carolina. She's pretty much given, and actually that's not true, and she also was with Molly, but that was after Molly called her out. I'm just saying that as a character, I would love to see, we're not going to see it probably this season, sadly, but I would have loved to see a little bit more dimension with Nico. Like, it seems like she's either sarcastic, rude bitch, or crumbling mess, someone come help me. And it's like, can we just have something in the middle? Can we just have her be somewhat civil some of the time and be a little more understanding? Because it is really frustrating to watch her be this way. And I'm glad that finally Carolina's getting a dose of what Alex had to put up with for the first 2 seasons as well. It's kind of like, anytime you try to throw out an olive branch or to be upfront, you just get flamed. I understand that for the plot, we kind of need her to be at odds with the group and separated and isolating herself. And so off she goes to, well, we'll see how far she gets into Morgan's ploy situation. The Chase and Gert thing, obviously Gert is still completely in love with Chase. And I mean, much like Nico, Gert has this attitudinal problem where, again, she does think she's better than Chase. She really does. In her mind, just because she's not as derpy as Chase can be, she thinks she's somehow better than Chase. And a lot of that, of course, I know is embedded somewhat in her insecurity about her looks and her anxiety and not being popular. A lot of it is really just, she seems to think that just because Chase doesn't have all the literary references and he's not a social justice warrior and this male version of her like this other guy was, that somehow she's somewhat better than him. And it's just, it's tiring after 3 seasons. Like, season 1, I was fine because he was kind of being a dick to her too, but it kind of started with her. Like, she was jealous over the fact that Chase wasn't into her. So she started to be really combative with him. And then, of course, he responded in kind and it became this tit for tat. You know, when someone, you break up with them, their first relationship, post-relationship is usually one that that hurts. And you gotta remember also that Chase didn't break it off. Gert did. So he's still kind of trying to make sense of this situation, and she's kind of moving on. And it's kind of like, it's just like she's not trying to have any kind of empathy. I'm fine with her saying that the two of them should take a break and take a breather, because it's true. They did come together the night before that they thought that they were gonna die. And that's not exactly the best way to start a relationship. But I think the bottom line is that Chase really has been super accommodating to Gert, despite all of her venom and her vitriol and her condescension and everything that she throws his way. For the most part, he just takes it. And that takes a lot. Like, he really could be immeasurably mean to Gert, because he does know her insecurities. He does know what buttons he could push, but he doesn't, despite the fact that she is so asked for it so many times. And so it just bothers me a lot that we don't see Gert really acknowledging that ever, and just talking to Chase like he's actually a grown-up. Like, she's somewhat that finally at the end there, where she was talking to him about the whole boy situation, where she said, like, our relationship came about in a weird way. Like, she should have started with that conversation instead of all of the, you're such a trope, you're this, you're that. Like, take a step back, Gert. Think about the fact that this guy told you that he's in love with you, and that you're at this moment not about that. Can you just be a little empathetic? Because if it had been the other way around and Chase was acting this way towards her, he'd be the biggest dick in the world. Like, they'd be ready to send him, throw him over a bridge. So anyway, those, her and Nico just really they've always frustrated me with those two particular character flaws. As far as Molly, I'm not sure where we're going with the Molly side of things. Like, it's like all of a sudden she's going through feeling really isolated, which seems very strange to me. It just felt very sudden this episode that she's kind of like, oh, they left me. Why would they go without me? Oh my God. Like, the old Molly would have been like a bit worried, but it just felt like she was feeling really indignant about it. But anyways, it looks like she's getting really affected by the phone, and maybe the younger you are, the more it affects you. But it did affect Gert really quickly as well. So anyways, I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll have to see what goes down. But if Morgan's got Molly under control, that's going to be problematic, because, she's super strong and stuff. The other thing we basically touched on was the parents, and honestly, it's all right, I guess. I mean, I feel like the parents kind of feel weirdly irrelevant now. They're not the main threat. They kind of accepted that the kids may or may not want them back in their lives. Alex is down a parent, and of course with Nico, her dad's life's in the balance. I noticed he's wearing that the necklace he had looks like it's got a goat head or a ram's head on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's some kind of enchanting charm. I have a feeling that if Nico gets that off his neck, he might snap to his senses. But also bothers me that no one's worried about where the Gaborim have ended up. Like, so they were ripped from their bodies through the whole transition, but we don't know where they went. Are they in other bodies? Are they still regrouping? Are they going to try to get revenge? Are they going to try to leave? Like, we just kind of put a pin, I guess, in that for now, and I'm like, okay. But I just feel like since Morgan's been introduced in droplets since the beginning of the season, I would have felt that we should have moved a little further with her story so far. And I really, really hope we get a crossover. Man, 6 episodes in and still no crossover. Y'all making me wait for this, but I get it. I get it. If they put it in early, maybe they're afraid people wouldn't watch till the end, as if it's bingeable. I'm ready. I am ready for Tyrone and Tandy to show up. What's it gonna take? They've got to be picking up on Morgan. Anyway, what did you guys think of this episode? Please leave your comments below. And if you like this video, please click that like button. If you want to see more from this geeky face, go ahead and click subscribe. Until next time,